go. I think. Not sure how much this. Greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's channeling broadcast. We'll be having a positive day, as many challenges, of course, but I guess I looked at what is it called? Secure Team. I don't normally watch that. I guess animals are acting all crazy. I haven't watched that one yet, but that's good. Zombie raccoons or something like that. So yeah, good. Birds are acting strange. Yeah, that's good. So good. That shows that we're in a. I don't normally connect to the weather, the news, at least in that regard. At least weather-wise, I'll have to take a look more at that. So I did get some headlines. I was going to go into those. I was going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I also put the links on the social network, the 5D Spirit Crew. I'll show that in a second, but what is this? Kim Wilde, maybe aliens are using me to put out a record on them. I don't know what. I didn't really read this, but well, feel free to read that. Yeah, it is known through musicians. I forgot what musician. It was heavy metal band or something like that. Aliens connected to him, and he made his whole careers off. I think the Zeta's connected to him. So I forgot who that was. It's been a while. My music education's not very good. Is this gonna work? Oh, I guess the page has frozen. No, I was gonna scroll. It was working a minute ago. Anyway, I saw a UFO. Buzz Aldrin passed his lie detector test revealing truth about aliens. Yeah, but that's probably in the crazy people section on the internet. So I imagine that's not going to get too much press. Now, I guess the page is frozen, but let's see if I can connect to anything on that further. Also, scientists discovered the universe has much less, phosphorus than we thought, potentially meaning there are fewer aliens. That's good. That's what we want to hear. Gosh, I guess all these pages are frozen. Maybe the whole thing is frozen. Great. So, well, maybe I won't do that again. Yeah, that's good to hear. So Buzz Aldrin is, yeah, I believe there's a lot of fear in that of what he connected to, but apparently he's allowed to go somewhat. Well, nobody's going to believe him too. I think there's been other NASA astronauts went public and they kind of got I don't know if they got quiet, but they didn't get a whole lot of attention. Well, they got attention, but not media attention. Some of them might have. So here and there. Let's see. As for the weather changes, that's a good sign. It is still kind of cool here. But that's probably normal. But as for the animals acting up, that's a good sign of things to come for sure. Not giving me a whole lot of details, like the weekend they're taking their aliens take their day off too. But it does seem like a lot of the alien entities they work with nature on the weekends. Of course, they work on it throughout the week, but nature they do play a big role on nature when it's a slow news week, basically. Also, I was asked to mention about the reptilians, or the negative agenda as for, well, the Palladian agenda as for healing the negative agenda through Trump's energies. We'll see what we get through that. Of course, Trump is under control through cabal to a certain degree. Basically, has to play with, he has to play with both, positive and light. But I believe he is part of a positive agenda for sure. Of course, it's hard to see that sometimes the way he's acting half the time, but it is a positive agenda around him. If you might dislike him, which I quite understand why. Yeah, he's not exactly there to be likable. He's just there, yeah. Oh well, nobody's perfect. But he's there for the positive agendas. I believe he made the decision in Astral. I believe this is a long time ago. But I realize also, he's going to be paid back from what it seems in a positive way. I think there's a fire at Trump Tower at this time too. I don't think anybody got injured by it, but I think it's one in New York City. So might be foul play there, possibly. Feels like there is to some degree, but not always able to be proven. Usually, so who knows? Anything, who knows? For those that are new to all this is ivanteller.com. Oh, this works. We have private sessions throughout the week. You can see the schedule right here. We also have Google Hangouts, Zoom, channeling by phone, and Skype. It's recorded if you like it to be recorded, and we also have webinar sign up. We have the Jake comic. We have issue 4 coming out this week. We also have Oracle cards. Yeah, Jake comic is on its way. The next one's going to be a while, probably over a month and a half for the next one to be out. You also submit a question between 1 to 5 days or 10 days at the latest. I do it as quickly as I can, but life happens. It also has Spirit Social, submit a question, past life regression healing, message from Yeshua, channel consulting, 5-minute healing. Also Spiritual Connections, Joe Ricky from Miguel, healing from Yosium, and healing from Nick. We also have Patreon if you want to get on a bit on the rabbit here or join the webinar. And on the I added the links that I just mentioned. Can't scroll through them for some reason. Oh, that's interesting. Sphere beam, angel, flying out. That's neat. The government is a terrorist. No surprise there. Archon, Anunnaki, reptilian architecture. Oh yeah, and probably in Washington D.C. Yeah, for sure. I'm guessing that's what that is. And I believe that's it. We got. Whoops. Alright, let me get. Alright, yeah, with Trump what's going on with him? Yeah, he does work with Ashtar Command, other positive alien entities, but he still has to be careful because Cabal is right there to basically. Like you see with Stormy Daniels and others are trying to derail him as much as they can. And they're also trying to, make him lose his cool. I believe his kids are safe at this time, but from mostly it feels as if they're just trying to derail him, as like CNN's been taking over pretty much. And it's mostly like Reptilian and Anunnaki. It's probably other beings, but agendas. It's basically CNN, I guess, turned into like more of a tabloid channel now, and Fox isn't too far behind. Or it's already there. It's just does it a little bit better. It is connected to a more positive energy sometimes, but not always. But same as Trump, he has to be careful. It's almost like, I guess, with Trump, sort of like Russian roulette in a very. He's got to be careful on some of the things he does and says, because they'll pull the rug from under him depending on what's going on. You can say if there's a shadow government around him, it's called the CIA. Of course, it's the FBI, but I believe the CIA is really the one that's your shadow government around him. It's Pentagon, but I believe it's mostly CIA. Yeah, those are your two-face. As you can tell with Kennedy. So there's that stuff, so I'm not sure how all that works, but he has advisors, and I'm not sure. But of course with the alien agendas, of course they're not going to go brief him on that very often. I don't think they brief him at all on it from what I feel, because that's not the really, but it does feel like in the next few years things are going to start to really change as for a more positive agenda. It's going to take some time. It's basically it's a change of times. It's time for the old guard to, you know, let go of its, and that shows the positive aliens are closing down, or that's what the timeline wars are, closing down old negative timelines that are like people like World War III is coming, the government's going to do da, 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 da. The news might even start getting very boring. Not to say it was ever that interesting to begin with, but those that follow it, because it might be just like repetitive nonsense. Of course, that's already that way, but you know, it become less. Like they always bring up controversies here and there, catch it every once in a while, but that's like the conscious. The only reason I bring up the news because that is the manipulation that's going on. It's the reason why I bring that up. It's the only reason why I bring it up, because that's where the manipulation is operating on. And so you can kind of see what it's doing. Because I have to watch it, but just you kind of it's kind of gives you an idea of what they're trying to put in our heads. Even if they're not, if you don't listen to it, they're still putting it out there into the airwaves. So even if you don't watch it, you still get affected by it somehow. Doesn't mean it's different. You might not. It might be a little bit or not. You know, whatever. But it kind of gives you like the Illuminati agenda. Let's put it that way, for positive and dark. So you have to look at it a little bit differently. So that's one reason why I bring it up, because it does play a role here. It's mind control. It's all kinds of stuff. It doesn't mean you have to get pulled into it or anything, or just see it as like whatever, blah blah. Let them do their thing. It's like that's all it is. It's a bunch of nonsense basically. But the drama, yeah. As for humans waking up, like world, I'm not sure how that's gonna go. You have to be stirred to believe these things are here. So there'll be anomalies in the skies or something. They're not going into detail. Basically, they're it's like it's healing within is where they're operating. So you're not always going to see it on a physical front. The reptilians, it does seem like a lot of them are being cast off the earth. I'm not sure where they're sending them, but they're casted off in some region, black holes, or either way. There's more enforcement coming. You saw the Carians that came in yesterday. The eagle beings, I was going to connect to them again, but as we grow up, they connect more with us. I think I connected to more like the higher councils. Of course, they didn't say a whole lot. I don't think they said I didn't feel like they said a whole lot. For good reason. They're still watching us, see what we're going to do. So it's kind of like they're just testing the waters on what we're going to bring to. It does seem like they're not giving me a whole lot of, at least general information, not just the Carians, but any alien view. Let's see what Ashtar has for me. A lot in Babylon. Apparently, Babylon is going to become more. I'll probably do a subject on that tomorrow. I think I was going to do a subject today on something. Of course, I forgot what that was. I've been working on the Jake comic and other stuff. So, but as for the, let's see. Yeah, Babylon is what's connected. Of course, you don't always see Babylon, but Babylon, the Illuminati energies here are obviously very strong. So there's a negative agenda that's going on, but even that's being lifted through. Babylon is like the agendas are put in different cities. New York is one of them. Anywhere you see, Dubai is another one. The Babylonian agenda is put every. So eventually, it's gonna be a long time. Like in cities like New York and all of them, I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Either it would be terraformed somehow, or that's another thing about the Carians. They are known to terraform planets. Also, I'm not sure if I brought up this today either, or yesterday, about they give technologies to like the planet, like Ashtar Command, to defeat the reptilians. Yeah, the Carians, the eagles are or the bird race, not just eagles, but the bird race are just very. Yeah, they play on both sides sometimes. It does seem like that. because they want to see what the outcomes are. They want a fair fight too on both sides, but not always. It's just like, do you deserve this technology type of thing? Do you deserve help from us? So, like, the Arcturians are known to be, like, they can defeat anybody, maybe even the Carians probably, but the Carians are pretty powerful also. So they play. It does seem like they play on both sides. Yeah, it feels like they play on. They don't look at it as like we do. We're just. It's like look at it as chess or something like that, or they just have a different perspective. They've been at even at a high density. They've been there for a very long time. So. Yeah, they're not the easiest ones to connect to either, it feels. So they didn't realize that there are hard times here, but humans are asking for a hard time too. That's the Carians. Okay, how about the Carians? I'm getting a conscious connection with them. As for Carians and the Trump, they feel that Trump is very weak, but also very strong. He's weak as for personal life, as you can see. He's not very loyal. He's kind of like an imbecile when it comes up. But that's still kind of the passionate side of him. He wants to just get into, every female he can get to. So that's still a sign of weakness because he can't control it. So that makes a lot of sense. Because when you get married, that usually shows an oath, but he can't control it. So when people are married a lot, either way, it's just... not judgmental, but just where it is. As for his loyalty is there. As for the country, he does care about people. What he says is very true. He's seen as a fraud. He's realizing that, of course. But he wants a better country for everyone. And that right there put him in to... he's not selling out. He's not afraid to make himself look bad. As long as people get what they want, as the American people get a better... what he says is very true. You might dislike him as a human being because of his personal life. Even his business life isn't exactly the best. Business is very dirty. Sometimes you just have to... I think he got tricked into a lot of situations. And not to say he's a saint, but he got tricked in some business situations that, it's like scammed. Like, I think it was New Jersey, what is that casino area over there. So, but he thought it was a good idea, but anyway. Back to the presidency, now I'm connecting to the Carians about his agendas. He is connected to a lot of positive beings. He is, let's see, one moment. He's not as selfish as some people I think. He is bringing a positive agenda, but of course there's a reptilian agenda right next to him. So he has to be careful of what he does there. I think there's some sensitive stuff they kind of pulled out. Let's see, Ashar Command, he has been very... yeah, the Carians kind of disappeared when I got to... yeah, I guess there's some things they can't get involved with. One thing about the Carians, they don't really connect to a lot of alien beings from what I feel. They stay out of everything. So even the Galactic Federation of Light, they do help, but they're kind of on their own. They don't need all that, from what I pick up on. They don't need any of that. They're fine. They're doing good. They don't, they got. But for this world, they intervene like when they need to. But they don't necessarily say negative reptilians. Like, they can cast them all out if they wanted to, but they don't, because they have a purpose. So it's like almost like the Carians are like a judge in some regard. Like they're in some regards, like they hear their case. You can say they're part of the karmic court in some regard. They hear the cases of different alien beings who they cast out. They're part of that sort of, it seems, not entirely. But Ashar Command plays a big role as for Trump's agenda. The Palladians are involved with that too. Like the Federation of Light doesn't make Ashar stronger with that. Ashar is very connected to our political groups. Of course, they're very quiet about a lot of stuff, the Black projects, everything. They've been rooted with us for thousands of years, forever, basically. Seems like after Atlantis, they had to get involved with this the most, because we weren't taking care of ourselves anymore. Not very well. It was like after Egypt fell. That's when they were put together. I think they were put together before, probably before that, but either way. But as for Trump, only reason the Egypt stuff is brought up because there is a lot of Egyptian energies and Anunnaki and all their the symbolisms in Washington to show you who's there. That they control Washington, but for Trump is like a deal maker. There is positive, there is dark, and he's working with both. But yeah, you can say he's controlled because he can't do everything he'd like to do, as you can see. So he has to, he has to compromise here and there. I don't think he's out to start a war. I believe he's here to start peace and help our economy as much as he can. The thing with China, they're not going into too much on that, but China has a lot of deceitful energies going. Not to say America is much different, but they're just kind of deceiving both. But it's a game. It's a game that the shadow governments are playing. It does also seem like shadow money that's going between America and China that we're not seeing, of course. Because China has their own shadow government. They are connected to all-out shadow, but they're kind of on a different agenda. So there's that stuff going on also. That's in quiet. But as for the positive agendas, there's going to be drama at least through the political system. As for maybe more, I think there's been firings in Washington. There might be a few more coming soon from what it feels like. Congress needs a whole nother. It needs to be flushed out again. Apparently, a lot of them are just the sellouts have been there for long. Even some of the new ones need to be flushed out too. So it's going to be a while for that, but it does seem like Congress is playing a big problem as for the positive agenda. Some of them are blocking it because of payoffs and stuff like that. So as for the budget and things like that, it seems like the government, it seems like that has a lot to do with it. As of the reptilians, they play with weaknesses, of course. The male, you know why there's so many males in Washington? Because they're easy to mess with. They're easy to manipulate. So especially when their mind's on money all the time and power, they're easy to get into their minds. So that's another reason why that's why there's always males. It's just and a female is becoming less male-like, at least in power, over time, becoming more feminine. And men are kind of becoming more feminine to a certain degree. It depends on where you are. But as for those in power and government, they're just a bunch of weak old men, basically, as you might see. So let's see here. The Yale also, they're involved with our financial situation. Do seem to be assisting that where it's allowed. I see a lot of the Yale around the Federal Reserve. Right, no surprise there for some. Basically, more honesty in the Fed. It's not like it's going to be leaked out or anything. It's Washington is like a sealed box for the most part. They don't want. There's so much dirtiness going on there. It's just. Gosh. It'll make a great movie. I think it is a movie. Isn't it a TV show somewhere? A couple of TV shows on Netflix and all that. Yeah, they put the truth out there. But as for the cabal losing its power, I don't believe so. Like Kevin Spacey, I think they're saying something about him in House of Cards. And, you can say it's future prediction if it's anything that the cabal will come to an end. But, the cabal has a long ways to go away. I mean, if people stop drinking Coke and Pepsi, of course they are, but then again they're drinking water from Coke and Pepsi. That's not much different than the Coke in a lot of ways. So you have to get away from all of this stuff eventually. So it has to be a major culture change when these big companies start losing when they're no longer popular, basically. That's when you know the cabal is connected, because the cabal is connected to all these huge companies. So Dunkin' Donuts, unfortunately, Starbucks probably. Jeez. Yeah, Starbucks because the symbolism. God, you just can't win. So McDonald's, you know, I'm not sure about Burger King, but definitely McDonald's. So, you know, it's just when all those big companies go away, you know, the cabal is lost. So anything's possible. Let's see here. Is there anybody else? Let me check something on for Dark Agenda. Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. Let's see, Buzz Aldrin. Yeah, it just felt like he saw the fear of God when he saw those alien beings. I think he saw a couple of them. Of course, he was also just blown away by it, but also I think he got the fear of God through the government mostly. But for some reason, they're allowing him to talk. They want him to talk for some reason. It does seem like he's connected to some kind of royalty where they're allowing it to slip through. He might be part of the elite energies, the positive Illuminati, possibly. It's hard to say at this time. Alright. Alright, we'll see who we can connect to. As for, let's see if anything else from the Carians. A lot of the Carians don't really care much for Trump. Of course, he is doing a positive agenda, but he's not. There's a lot of people around him that are slowing him down, and there's not much he can do. It's like he has a wall of people around him that's stopping him from doing what he would, you know, to bring more. He would do the alien disclosure stuff, but then he won't be president anymore. I don't think it's on the top of the agenda. It's getting people jobs and health care. And but I think the alien thing would be out there too. It's like, might as well just throw it all out there. In second term, anything is possible. But right now, just the little things. It feels like there's just people around him that we aren't always familiar with. They're causing a lot of backlash for him to get anything done. There's a lot of Palladian energies there. As for, you know, ground crew beings there. Nordics, they're not really going into any detail, of course, but they are watching the financial system, because that does play in our ascension. Because the more, you know, positive energies that goes into the financial system, people get jobs, people feel they're not going to lose everything. Because the more you feel stable, the more you can connect spiritually. You know, when you're worried about, not to say everyone's going to be on a great financial situation, I don't know how that's going to go, but you never know. But with a financial class, not going to help anybody. I don't think so. I think they're doing everything they can to make sure that does not happen. 2008 happened, but it feels like that was part of a wake up. Also, stuff was just that had to go. It was just, you know, you can't always stop everything, but for right now, it feels like everything is pretty stable for a long time. The Saudis, something's there where oil can cause a market weakness. But that's about all I'm seeing. China is just war games through just back and forth, nonsense basically. But yeah, if there's anything, it'll be through oil. From what it feels like. Of course, Facebook and their Facebook and their well, I don't think Facebook's going anywhere. They're just, you know. I guess we'll find out if anything else comes freeing that. Let's see here. Alright, let's see if anybody here is to assist us in our knowledge of what's going on here. This one might be a little bit short. I was going to try and do a longer one, but that didn't happen, apparently. Let's see how much energy I have. Let's see here. Alright, we'll allow a positive connection here and see who says hello. Might be the Carians again, we'll see. Alright. Alright, much love, blessings. And here we go. Greetings to you. We are the Carian Collective. Blessings to your society. Yes, reptilians on your world are testing humanity, as you can see. Humanity is allowing more of their power to come back. Also, these reptilians are, yes, there's different versions, there's different types. So there are those reptilians that go towards children, yes. And those are more of the black cauldron type of reptilian that just lost their souls ages ago. Those are the ones that are causing much difficulties for Illuminati. There is not much of a positive energy with them. They're also connected to a snake collective in your society, the Naga, but it's a very negative Naga. As yes, it is many ways, when you connect a Naga and a reptilian together, it can be much worse than any Archon. So there's all these reptilians it's not connected to the overlords, but it's very close to them. But these reptilians are much a part of your child trafficking energy. As yes, they thrive on blood, basically. As for the reptilians that are causing your political agenda, they're more part of your black projects, yes. As for your black projects, the negative reptilians, or how you want to word them, but they are, yes, of a low vibration. They don't want your country to win. They want to, of course they as humans find the good in themselves more, they are activating you activate your chakras, basically. Activate yourself. You connect to a level of goodness, you awaken, basically. Not to say humans here are not good, but they connect to a version of it that is basically keeps you at the third dimension. As you allow more of your just selflessness open up more, become less selfish, more to others, it just causes an awakening. And a lot of these reptilians know how to, the reptilians on your world know how to keep your earth asleep. So it is good to be a good human, but also they know how to keep the levels on your world where humans don't awaken, basically. It is connected to your chakra system, your belief systems. It's connected to many things. Yes, they check the boxes, basically. And some few of you do get away, as you can see. But when you do, they cause all the difficulties they can to shut you down, as you can see. So it has a lot to do with, yes, the reptilian agenda. The Anunnaki have already played their role, and they're using it as financial. The Anunnaki do more of events on your world. As for news events, they cause a little, but the reptilians are truly watching over your humanity altogether, as you can see, because some of you have seen quite a few of them. There are always a reptilian somewhere. It is because they are keeping your earth asleep. And they know how to operate the human, basically. But of course, some of you just get away. And of course, they come at you with a lot of negativity, as some of you have realized. Some of it, no, there are positive reptilians there to awaken you when you are ready. Some humans are just not also at the level. Basically, you could call it like a chemical in your body that they monitor. I know it sounds strange, but the aura, the energies, but it's also a chemical energy that goes through you also. They keep an eye on all these things. So basically, they know where you are. And when they see you kind of drifting off into another direction, as for spiritual awakening, trust me, all alarms are on. And usually, when you go into that, there's no stopping it. There is sometimes signs, and yes, they do see certain, but not always. So that's why when you awaken, you get an attack. Now, there are some positive reptilians there to awaken you. Basically, you hear them yelling in your ear or something around that. Basically, when they watch you, they see not every reptilian is watching every human, at least negative ones. They have like a group that they keep an eye on, but they don't always see everything. The positive ones are there when they know you're all connected to guides, and you're all just, everyone's connected to somebody. So when you go into your awakening phase, there's always somebody there to turn on the light, basically. Could be a reptilian, could be Palladian, could be anybody. But once that happens, your reptilian gang that's been keeping an eye on you from a distance does come rushing over. Now sometimes it's different, sometimes they're right around you. It all depends. But why your Earth is not awakening fast as you may think, because there's suppression here. It's not just in the human, but it's also in your airs, your chemtrails are much involved with it too. So it goes into many different aspects. It also goes into timelines. It can go back in your timeline and shut you down too. They can also interfere in your timeline in your past, which causes different problems in your future. They can do that too. They don't do it very often, but they can. Why you can't remember certain things? Because they were manipulating it to lower your vibration. Why you can't remember certain amnesia, or they do, yes, get involved in your amnesia. They can play around with that also. It depends on the being. Some more sophisticated ones can get involved with that. But as the reptilians are involved with your government, the negative ones, the negative agendas are losing ground, but they're still playing a heavy influence because of the child trafficking energy on your planet. Yes, there's an awakening going there, but it is not enough to stop the lower energies, basically. What happens most at this time is nature also will awaken with the ascension energies. It is the positive energies of Wonder World also bring assistance. One moment. But as for what will truly turn your Earth around, it is basically negative Anunnakis to let go of your world, as they're playing a big role in. It's usually, yes, reptilians, but Anunnaki usually have the last say in your government shutdown. Basically, they're the ones holding your government hostage, you could say. There are other beings, yes. Your reptilians are very much involved, but your Anunnaki play the most influence. They have ever since your United States was created, and on and on. They play a role where they don't even have to be there, but they have their people there, let's put it that way. Reptilians are not always their people, though. They're mostly human, to give you more understanding of that. So the suppression of your government, it's... One moment. Compromise. There's many compromises going on at this time. One moment. But there's much more that I can't go into. Your Ashtar Command has their ground crew here at this moment, of course. But as the Carian race, we are not to get involved. We are there to stay outside your planet. This is not our war. Yes, we bring assistance, but this is not our war. As for humanity, humanity is up to you to find what is right for you, basically. Many of you are posing positive intentions. You are healing your government greatly, but also healing humanity, basically, to have an understanding of awakening, of what's to come. Nature is assisting also. Nature is there to awaken humanity, as you can see through weather. It does not have to be manipulated. Nature itself has a soul, as you are aware. Mother Gaia has an agenda here also. So all of it is playing as it should, but yes, the negative agendas on your planet, one moment, are also, yes, enforced by Zetas as for technologies. Once your negative agendas are being healed, your technologies will change drastically. It will become more healthy on your world. Imagine many of you can see that. You wonder why you don't have free energy. Yes, this reptilian agenda is also a Zeta agenda. Many Zetas do want a free humanity, but they're not allowed to do so because of the negative agendas on their world. It is gradually coming into your planet, but not as fast as you. So once the negative hold on your planet officially lets go, meaning that humanity, though, the consciousness of humanity has to change. This is what will free your black projects, basically. Humanity has to make a choice. They have not made it yet. As you can see, many do not believe we exist, let alone the shadow government exists. But it does not mean it will not happen. Yes, there will be encouraging events will occur, yes, in due time, for basically to show humanity that you're not alone here, but also there's much here that you chose to ignore. You can't ignore it anymore. As for when this will happen, that is up to you. But the consciousness of humanity is, now there's enough of you awakening to allow more of the ascension to increase. Some are lazy, some are not. Some will really truly want this to happen. It is up to you. It's basically us as the alien beings have to wait for you to change. We can't just move in. We can help you sustain life here, but we can't interfere in your decision making. This is for you. We place the information there. You decide what's best for you. Many do not believe in your cabal, let alone your alien agendas here. And it shows how long it's going to take for humanity to awaken. But from what we are seeing, there's enough of you of allowing more, yes, of certain events to occur. For a shaking of your consciousness has to, yes, break out of the old timelines. It is still connected to a positive timeline, but it's also connected to the old timelines, as basically we don't exist timeline. Those are changing. As because many of you are, as a soul, you choose what timelines to connect. You don't just connect to one, you connect to several. So connecting to the several is brings you to, yes, your master timeline, basically. So when you don't believe in aliens and all that, you're on that timeline, you're part of that consciousness, but when you're ready to awaken, you shift. And then it goes into a whole nother direction, as you can see. That's all we can bring into your environment at this time. Basically, what our advice to your world is just believe you are on the right track. Share your love. Share your talents. You do not have to be perfect. We are not perfect. It might seem like that, far from it. As for what your world is battling at this time, it is like it is dealing with a headache on a day-to-day basis, as you can see. The world, Gaia, goes through a massive migraine every single day, as some of you realize. That is the low vibrations on your world. And many of you that are awaking are that medicine of basically clearing out the negativity, allowing more positive energies to come in. So basically, you are medicine to heal the earth and heal society. That is what you're here for. You don't have to go out and save the world. Just be yourself. That alone is felt, heard. It's everywhere. And that is what is not always understood. Each of you have your own event energies. Some are talking about the event. Each of you are going to that individually. And it's at different levels, yes. It's what you want to experience. Because many of you are coming out of your old contracts of the old third dimension into the new life. As many of you are feeling. Just follow that road. Blessings to you. We are the Carians. We care for your society very much. Blessings. Alright.